Hello and welcome back. I feel as if it's only yesterday that I spoke to you girls, and we're back together for another episode of Girlie Giggles. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you to both of you, because everyone went potty last week for this. They were like, oh my God, you're both back. I'm so happy. You know, we missed you. Oh my God, your laughter. Da, 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 da. So first and foremost, thanks girls.
Pleasure.
That was amazing. And I just want to say thank you to all of our followers, right? So anybody that is really enjoying the Girlie Giggles or any of my other content, please do remember to hit the thumbs up button. Comment below here. We would love some topics to cover for you guys. Like, what is on your mind? What would you love to know? Do you want to talk about periods again? I know that went down really well last time with the boys. Would you like us to talk about, you know, like healing or what? Like, just let us know what you'd like us to talk about. Comment below and we would love to hear from you. And the last thing I'm going to ask you to do in this little segment is subscribe to my channel so that you will get notified as and when new content goes live. And if you've noticed, at the moment, I'm posting content at really weird times of day and lots of it. So girls, how are we?
Who wants to go first? Shall I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really good. I've done something really wonderful today. I went outside in the middle of the day and I decided to make a daisy chain, which I haven't done since I was about 11, I think. I was just sat in the grass and I thought, oh, I wonder if I can still do those. You know, because you used to have to make the little pierce in the stalk, pop it in. Do you remember? I was like, I'm sure I could do this. And I made myself an ankle bracelet, a little ankle bracelet. I sat there with that on, and this little girl was watching me from across the park. And her mum said, do you mind if she asks you how to do that? And I said, no, not at all. So I taught this little girl how to make daisy chains today.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Perfect.
Oh, that's so nice.
Beautiful.
I know.
Can I just say something? I think it was 2 years ago now. I was sat on the grass. Actually, yeah, I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before. I was sat on the grass in the park outside my house that I know you went to, Donna, with my two little sisters making daisy chains. And it's so beautiful. There's something really connecting about it, right? And just picking. But what's quite interesting is I was actually out with a girlfriend today, and there were these massive long daisies, not like gerberas, but proper long daisies. And we both commented on it. And the fact that you've brought that up, Donna, I really think that there's a beautiful spiritual meaning to that that's coming through this. So thank you for sharing that.
That has to be, right? How lovely.
Sure. So anything else you've been up to, Don Dons?
So that was that today. Oh, lots of washing. That's not quite so interesting. Really not so interesting. What else have I been up to? Weekend was lovely. Loads of walking, loads of connecting in nature. I'm feeling I really need it at the moment. I'm wanting to be outside an awful lot at the moment. And I'm just doing it. I'm just like, right. And actually yesterday we ended up doing about 28,000 steps because we just walked solidly pretty much for 4.5 hours. Because the weather was beautiful. You know, there's a few gaps in it, but it was beautiful. And we just walked and talked, and yeah, just really, really lovely. So I've been doing a lot of that lately. So yeah, and I made a daisy chain and it stayed together till I got home from the park, which was really good because I walked in and my daughter went, what's that on your ankle? I said, I've been making daisy chains. And she went, oh my goodness, Mum, I haven't done that with you for years. So we've planned to go do it together next time.
Nice. That's beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. And what's interesting, Maxine and I were talking before you came on, and Conscious Conversations this evening. So the membership that I do for Conscious Conversations, for those of you that don't know, I do a Monday session. Every Monday I do a Zoom call. We basically talk about ascension and awakening and some of the truths that are going on around the world. Basically, it's Uncensored Lucy for an hour every Monday. And what I was saying to Maxine before you came on is that I've been channeling a lot of information around the consciousness that I'm going to be sharing at Conscious Conversations this evening. Profound stuff, and it will make absolute sense why you've had to be out in nature.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I look forward to that. I will be there.
Yeah, it's extremely exciting what is happening on the planet right now. For those of you that are interested in joining Conscious Conversations, I'll pop the link down below, for want of better words, so that you can access it if you choose to. It's £11.11. I don't know what that is in all the other, you know, it's probably about $15 Aussie, probably about, I don't even know what the exchange rate is with American at the moment, maybe $12 or $13, something like that. So just to let you guys know, that's what that is. So Maxine, my babe, Give us a cheeky little update, my friend.
Well, the last time we spoke was only last week, but the copper decided to pop into the shop to buy an ice cream.
Oh, lovely.
Well, I don't even think that's what he came for, but he bought an ice cream. Minus the uniform.
Oh.
Yes.
So this is an off-duty copper.
This is what, sorry?
An off-duty copper.
That's the one. So he came, I didn't recognise him, to be fair. And so he came to the counter, and then he was walking around. I thought, I do recognise from somewhere, just can't think where. Take note, it'd only been 3 days before I'd seen him in his uniform. And he said, you don't remember me? I went, oh, yes, I do. Yes. You're the copper that came to question me on something that happened a million years ago. And he said, our conversation got me thinking. So I said, well, that's my aim in life, that whoever leaves this shop goes away with good thoughts. And he said, well, there was a couple of things you said about, what was the first thing you said? Oh, about dating. Because I told him about this guy, you see.
Yeah.
And he said, and it got me thinking, he said, because I was quite horrible to my wife when we got divorced. So I said, spill the beans, love. I've got 10 minutes before the next customer comes in. And what he said was he was quite spiteful. They decided to separate because they just live separate lives. And he said, she sent me the divorce papers, and I looked and went, she can wait. And I said, right, okay. He said, and I made her wait. He said, and I argued about really petty things. He said, and then I spoke to you last week. Take note, he's been divorced 2 years. But he said, when I spoke to you last week, you made me think, why the hell did I do that? And I said,
Wow.
this is why I'm here, my love.
Lovely,
Welcome to my
Max.
world.
Well
But
done.
I remember talking
Can I
about
just take
it.
a moment? Can I just take a moment? That's a really amazing thing that you did there. And I just want to raise the
thank you.
consciousness to other people that are listening and watching this, right? We are living in a very toxic time right now. We really are. And it's very easy to jump down people's throats with our belief systems. Maxine has obviously left this person feeling, you know, in a better consciousness than when they came in. And I don't question it's because of Self-Love Club membership, my love, because you are
Not at all.
one of the star pupils. But joking aside,
I have passed that on to him.
joking aside, right? We're witnessing people help elevate others right now, and that is a really amazing thing, Maxine. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the population, because if every single person did that once a day, imagine the sprinkles of kindness that we would get around the world. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, that's what's happened. Yeah, that is what happened. But we didn't talk about his divorce or being bitter. What we talked about was the kid that threw the wood. I didn't want the police involved, because I said I will talk to him personally myself, and I will find out why he felt the need to throw that, which I did, because school got involved. Obviously my boss said, right, he wants to expel him from school, and I said, oh no, back off, love, back off. My shop, when I'm here, I'm manager, nothing to do with you. And I spoke to the lad about it, and I didn't go, you know, what the bloody hell were you doing? I just said, oh, you know, when you've got a minute, pop in. You know, when all the kids have gone from school, just pop in and see me. And he said, you know, I'm sorry. But he was quite... So, and I spoke to him about it. And what was happening was he was being bullied at school. Oh. His mum and dad were constantly arguing and fighting at home, and he had nowhere to go. So the only way to get any attention that day was to act the big man. Yeah. And I said, and I explained to him, I've done it myself. I did it all the way through school. I said, it's a horrible world we live in. But then I went and explained to school, because he said, I'm in so much trouble at school. I said, oh no, leave that one with me, because I really don't like this school anyway. And I spoke to I went up to school, and they said, well, we can't discuss it with you. I said, but it's my incident. He threw the wood at me, so I'm talking to you. And what I'm saying to you is, stop acting like it's a school and act like he's a human being. Yeah. And so they've worked with him, and he still comes in the shop now. And when they went back to school, he actually he doesn't live near our shop now, but he actually got the bus to the shop to come in and say hello to me and say, I'm back at school. Aww. I'm doing really well. So this is why I was talking to the copper. But he said the story that I told him made him think of how he treated people in the past, and his wife being one of them. Wow. And he actually said he was going to go and contact her and apologise.
Oh, I love that so much.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that, Max. You know, I'm a big fan of that.
And I just said,
amazing.
honestly, I got quite emotional. I said, do you know what? I said, I've been going through this membership. I'm on my second year. I said, but I've known Lucy for 4 years. I said, and you know, when you start doing these things and people, even though I didn't mention you particularly, you picked up on that. I said, it just makes everything worthwhile. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you don't realise you're doing it. Whereas before I'd think, oh, I did a good deed today. Well done me, which you should do if you've done a good deed. Thank yourself. But then it just becomes part of your life.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So if somebody comes at me and says, why aren't you wearing a mask? I just say, have a nice day. I don't get into an argument about it and say, well, you know, if you saw what's, if you believed all this, you know, I just go, have a nice day.
Yeah.
Don't come near me if you feel like that. But I never lose my temper about it because there's no need. But yeah, so he's gone off to apologise to his ex-wife now.
That's amazing.
Well,
and then gorgeous Greg came in, because I will say his name now because he's not on any internet. And he said, I checked that. He thinks we got off on the wrong foot.
Oh.
Now, this is the best one. So I said, I don't think we got off on any wrong foot or any wrong hand, my love. We're just not meant to have a relationship. But thanks for asking. Really appreciate it. And he said, well, maybe one day you could come round to mine for a meal. And I said, I'll have a think about it, but it's highly unlikely. I don't want to lie to you and say, oh, yeah, you know. So he said, you'd be amazed what I can do with an aubergine. And I just stood there and went, do I need to bring the taco? This is how I know he's not on the internet, because he didn't understand what I was talking about. And I said, it's an emoji, the aubergine and the taco. And he said, oh, I don't use those. So that was fun. But it turns out he's vegetarian. So that was a tick in the book.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, but he popped in a couple of times. So, you know, I'm not saying no. Because he's absolutely gorgeous, but you know,
you're not saying no, you're saying not right now, aren't you, Maxine?
Not right now. And I'm not bringing a taco.
Oh my God.
But I just thought that, what a thing to say. You know, I'm great with a tin of beans, but no, he said, I'm great. You want to see what I can do with an aubergine? Well,
hey,
write it down. I'll read it at night when it's dark.
I don't mean to be funny, right? But if any man said to me, you want to see what I can do with an aubergine, and I would, and it was literally on food and not being disgusting, like you and your bloody tacos, I would be there like.
But the first thing I thought of was
literally.
the taco, because when I joined Facebook and I started working with Donna, I asked Donna to send me the emojis because I didn't have them in my phone. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
And Donna said to me, just don't use the aubergine in the taco. And I had to stretch it out on the paste. I went, oh, I see why now. So if ever we put anything, having a joke, I used to always put an aubergine in a taco to Donna. So to use an aubergine, you know, a carrot, anything, but an aubergine.
Yeah. But you know what? If we are literally talking about food, he would have won me over. Donna, you know.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Love an aubergine.
Yeah. But I just came out with the automatic taco because obviously he was already on my down list.
Of course.
It wasn't a possibility of me going to his house for a meal.
Well done. Next, and then all of a sudden gorgeous Greg pipes up that he's a vegetarian or vegan, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, the taco's back.
Slightly interested, yeah.
Just imagine if you could get loads of plants into him, because most vegans and vegetarians eat shit, let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
But imagine if you could get loads of plants into him, babe, and then he starts walking with you, which is what you want in the first place.
Of all the plants that you could, of everything you could pick, he picked an aubergine. So although I did answer with the taco bit, that was my defense mechanism. Because I actually thought, a guy who talks about an aubergine is somebody I want to eat with.
A guy who knows how to use an aubergine.
There we go.
Ching ching. Thank you very much. That's it for Girlie Giggles this week.
Done.
What more can we say when it comes to a bloody aubergine?
That's what you get for talking about aubergines and tacos.
About a bloody aubergine.
Did you fall off the bed, Matt?
No, the phone did. You see, that's my spirits going, Maxine, you should have said yes.
It's those slippery sheets.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Donna.
We've gone right out there now.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant the
I'm
night
going to
me
tell
and
him
Lucy
this
flipped off the
when he
sheets. Do
comes
you
in the
remember?
show.
He knows
Oh, God,
exactly
yeah.
what you were talking about.
Oh my God, please, no one misunderstand what I'm saying.
Oh, we do have fun.
Absolutely amazing. Oh, Maxine, that's so brilliant. So I think we should give gorgeous Greg a chance to cook you an aubergine.
Yes, well, I'm going to wait and see what he comes up with the next time he comes in.
Yeah, and I think you should report back to us, because comment below, ladies and gents, if you would like to hear about Maxine's day.
The next instalment.
So I want to give a little update. Have you finished, Max? Did you get any
Have my love, thank you.
have you got any vibrations or anything in your post office this week?
No, boring.
No? Okay,
No.
boring.
So that was the excitement, my love.
Let's talk about my dating antics then.
Yes.
So everyone's like, right, I'm just going to grab my cup of tea and I'm just
Yeah, get
warm
comfy.
my hands up. I can feel the steam coming off. So as you guys know, I am on a 21 date mission, for want of better words. Okay, there's many reasons why I'm doing this. I'm not really going to share those with you guys. I need to get back out there dating. It's been many years. I split up with my ex-partner back in 2017. It's a long time ago, 4 years ago now I split up with him. So I need to get back out there. I've dated 2 guys since then, literally just for a short period of time, and it's time to get Lucy Love back out there, right? So this 21 date mission is not about sex. Just to reiterate this fact, it's not about that. It is about welcoming in people that are going to bring me lessons, things that I need to remember, things that I need to work on myself. So it is literally, I have gone, God, divine, bring me who I need to help me evolve to the level where I am either ready for my twin flame and my twin flame is ready for me, or that I'm ready to welcome in whoever the incredible soul will be that ends up with me. I'm excited by that. Donna's already bought a bloody hat recently. She's like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
She's like, Lucy's back. Now, my first date was really amazing, and I haven't spoken about that, and I don't think I'm going to speak about that. It was amazing. It is what it is. It was what it was. My second date, and this is what's so funny, Maxine, is because this beautiful soul said to me, right, I'm going to take you for dinner. I'm going to take you somewhere vegan. And you know, I'm going to take you out, we'll go for a nice walk along the beach, we'll get to know each other. And I'm like, perfect. Do you get what I mean? 2 of my favorite things, the beach and food. You know, whatever the company is, I know I'm going to get some growth from it. I know I'm going to evolve, and I'm just really open to doing that. So hilarious. Typical Lucy. He picks me up, I jump in his car, and I'm like, hey, you know, blah 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 blah. We're driving along. And I go, oh, I'd love to go in that restaurant there. It's a vegetarian restaurant. It's Indian food, right? So, and it's like little tapas dishes. Now, we were driving to said vegan restaurant that he had found, but he just literally went, you want to go in there? Spun the car round.
Oh, wow. Spun
the freaking car round and just drove down this road, found a parking space, and he was like, are you all right to walk from here? And I was like, yes, I'm good to walk from here. Like, totally shocked that all I said is, I'd love to go there one day, you know, just making conversation. And then the next thing I know, I'm in there. Anyway, we have the most splendid meal. Honestly, if any of you girls ever come to Bournemouth, you let me know and I'll give you the address of it. It was absolutely incredible. And we ordered this sharing plate. Now, Donna knows what I'm like. I love a good tapas, you know, and I don't mean a tapas. I mean, literally, I love tapas, right? I love to be able to pick and share. And I mean, some of my friends will watch this and say, hey, hang on a minute, Lucy does not share food. That's bullshit. I do share food, especially when it's lots of little bowls.
You do, because I've shared with you.
But if I order a plate that I want and you order something different, you ain't getting none of mine. I'm like a man in that respect, right? If you want to order salad, you eat your salad. If I'm ordering chips, you ain't having much. Do you get what I mean? I'm like a typical man like that. I love food, just so everybody knows. I absolutely love food. Anyway, this food was incredible, like really, 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 truly incredible. And I had such an amazing time with this person. We really did connect, and we laughed more than I've laughed in a long time. I learned so much because this person is not what I would call conscious. I would call this person kind of waking, but not conscious. So they're waking up to the truth that's going on around the world, but they're not conscious from like a spirit and soul perspective, which is fine, right? So I'm sat there having a really nice human evening. And then, like, we finish up and he's like, oh, do you want dessert? And I'm like, if I eat dessert, I ain't moving, mate. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have to roll me out of here, because we had such good food. And then we decided to go to the beach. So he's like, oh, should we walk from here? And I'm like, yep, let's do it. Because it was only about 10-15 minute walk there and then walk along. Anyway, we're walking along. Fascinating stuff, this, right? Walking along, I look up and he must have clocked me, because I look up and there's an angel in the sky, and I just smile, and then I carry on our conversation, you know, but I smile to it because I'm like, it's either my uncle or it's a sign just to say, I'm glad you're out enjoying yourself. Good girl for getting back on the horse, for want of better words. And he looked up and he went, that's an angel up there, isn't it? And I was like,
wow.
oh, look at you go. I was like, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. How did you see that? And he said, I could just see the glint in your eye. And I'm like that a lot, like that observation a lot. Anyway, we had a really, really beautiful walk along the beach for miles, and we just chatted the whole time. It was so beautiful. The sky was like, you know, in the photos that you see of Miami, when it just looks amazing, and this, you know, it's kind of like a purpley pink color. Yeah, that's what the sky was doing. And I was like, thank you for bringing this. Anyway, we had a really, really, really amazing night. We ended up going to find somewhere else just where we could go and chill for like about half an hour together. And then he dropped me home, and it was so nice. I literally just surrendered into my feminine. I allowed him, like, he even opened my car door for me when I got back in the car. Do you get what I mean? I was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, we need that.
Do that, you know. And it was, and I think that was my lesson from this person was, first and foremost, don't prejudge because they're not conscious, right? Everybody's on their own journey. Secondly, allow yourself to be treated like a lady. You know, because I'm like, oh, don't worry, I've got it. I've always been like that, but this time around, I'm not doing it. And I said, oh, you know, let me pay half. And he said, absolutely not. This is my treat. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, he's like, this is a date. You know that, right? It's a date. And I'm like, thank you very much. Thank you. But that's my old Lucy piping up.
Yeah.
You know, I've fallen out with people in the past for making that mistake, you know, because I've gone, no, I'll pay. No, I'll pay. Emasculating people. And it's not very nice, right? So that was.
Yeah, do you know what I used to do? Sorry to interrupt, but what I used to do was I would say, I'll pay. I'd say, no, it's all right. Well, we're going halves because this won't be happening again. And they go, what do you mean? Well, because I don't want you to be messaging me tomorrow saying, no, hold on a minute, I took you for a meal, mate, I got nothing for it. Because I won't be seeing you again. I don't find you, you know, stimulating enough. So I'll pay. And that's how I used to be. The masculine bit, I'm in charge, I'm in control, you know, I'll pay for it. Yeah.
And do you know what? I've never felt more safe in my life. That's a lie. I felt safe. I've got some people that I feel very, very safe with from a masculine perspective. But considering this isn't somebody that I spend time with or anything like that, I felt very, very safe, and it was beautiful. I was allowed to be the girl. I was allowed to be the female. I was allowed to, you know, just do silly female things, you know, like it was just amazing. And I was in this restaurant, and there was this lady, I explained to Donna, actually, there was this lady from Essex on the next table with a couple of girlfriends from Bournemouth, which is where I am at the moment. And I ended up befriending them, and he was like, oh, you know, it's so lovely. You just chat to everybody. And to get that response rather than, oh, yeah, talk to everybody, because that's what I had in the past. Not from everybody, but like my ex was like, do you have to talk to
I've had that. Yeah.
You know,
why are you talking to them when you're with me?
I know. And do you know what? It was, I truly believe that there is a level of acceptance in myself, which is why others accept me now. Yeah. Whereas before I had these questions, and I wasn't 100% certain about myself. So I didn't really know where my standards were. I'd let them slip. I'd do things that I didn't want to do. And actually, it was a really, really wonderful date. By the way, guys, I'm writing an ebook on these dates.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you should.
All the men that are going to ask me out, they're going to be like, nah, not going out there now.
Yeah.
Doing that. But I am. And I'm not doing this, like I say, guys, this is not about sex. This is not about, you know, pashing off with somebody in the back of a car or anything like that. This is about literally raising the consciousness to say to the universe, I'm ready. I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready for children. I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to be like in that perfect union now. Like I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, date number 3 was on Saturday, which was really, really beautiful. And on Saturday, I actually went out with my little sisters for the day, which was beautiful, and spent time with my dad, which was amazing. And then again, I got picked up. Not bad, is it? I got picked up, and I got taken to somewhere on the I have to be really like kind of aloof here, don't I got taken to somewhere on the cliff tops, and we had like a nice little rug laid out and a bottle of prosecco. Was it prosecco or wine? I can't remember, one or the other. And you know, like food and stuff. It was beautiful.
How lovely is that?
I know.
Maxine's like, where are you finding these ones?
Bloody, I know. I just got an aubergine and a taco.
I'm just going to say to you, Maxine, standards, my love.
I'm changing it now.
But what is so fascinating is many years ago, if somebody had said to me, I'm going to take you to the cliff top. In fact, somebody did do this for me many, many years ago. A gorgeous guy called Paul. He picked me up. He was a property developer. He took me to an apartment that he was building, looking out over the beach somewhere. I don't know where it was. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Basically, he took me to this apartment to show me it was stunning. And then he took me to the cliff top. And again, we had a bottle of Prosecco or something. We watched the fireworks and stuff. And I'll be honest, back then I was a bit cringed by it. I was a bit cringy.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to be out in a bar. And this time I was like, oh my gosh. And I actually gave myself forgiveness for back then, the way that scenario went, because the guy was so thoughtful. Like, look, and I mean, the guy's married now. He's got children. Do you get what I mean? Like, and we're friends, but like, there's nothing like that in it. But I had to forgive myself.
Yeah.
Because, and this is the learnings, this is the lessons that I'm taking on board from this, and this is why I wanted to do it. Because, say for example, when I arrive in Sydney next month, by the way, the immigration lawyer's calling me tomorrow.
Yay!
Anyway, I digress as always. You know, when I land in Sydney next month, what if my twin flame is ready? What if? Now, if he is ready, and if I hadn't been through these experiences, maybe I would be cringing at certain things that he did or whatever. Do you get what I mean, girls? This is why I have to share this level of consciousness. This isn't about getting notches on a bedpost or anything like that, or even notches in the little black book. You know, that isn't what this is about. This is about me saying, right, I feel I've done so much work on myself. I love myself so much. I have such high standards. Now, am I really living in my truth? Or am I actually going to settle for something that isn't in alignment with my values? Am I going to drop my standards as soon as it comes to a man and he's good looking and he's given me some attention? And honestly, so far, I know we're only 3 in out of 21, but so far it just hasn't been the case. Now, just thought I'll share with you. I've got 3 this week.
She's sped it up a bit, Max.
Basically, I'm supposed to have 3 this week. I was supposed to go out with a guy tonight. I completely forgot about conscious conversations. I got so excited when I was chatting to him. I was like, oh no, I can't do that. So hopefully me and him are going to catch up this week. I've also got, I'm also meeting up with somebody else this week, and the date 2 wants to.
Of course he does. Of course he does, Lucy.
And I've checked in with people that have, that basically I agreed to do this challenge, for want of better words, with, and they said yes. Now, I just want to make it very clear, the person number 2, I've been very honest with that person, and I've said that I'm doing a 21-date challenge, and he asked if he could be all 21.
Of course he did. Oh, that's so gorgeous, though. What a lovely thing to say.
And how beautiful is it that guys are vulnerable?
Yeah.
I've been asking for a man who is communicative and vulnerable, and I'm experiencing this with people now. How amazing. And actually, the guy that I was supposed to go out with tonight, he basically said to me, like, you are way too good to be true. And I'm like, oh, is that a bit smutty? And then I was like, no, Lucy, he's being vulnerable.
No.
Like, go along with it. You know, that's a really beautiful thing for somebody to say. And that's
because years ago, that's what we would have thought when we were out in the bars and pulling whatever.
Of course.
That's what we would have thought. Oh, I don't think so. Back off, mate.
And why would we have thought that, Maxine?
Because we were stupid.
Well,
because we were in control, divine masculine, all of that. Yeah. We were never feminine.
Reflecting our shit on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's.
But it's like, if a guy took me out, like you just said, oh, you know, you would have wanted to go to a bar years ago. I would have wanted to go to a bar so I could show him off, so people could say, oh, look who I've got. And I probably didn't even like the guy I was using him. But I would have been using him.
I've never been like that, because I really have to like somebody to be able to introduce them to people that I love. But it would have made me feel more comfortable getting drunk.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? I would have felt more
Yeah.
comfortable getting drunk. And I am loving it. I'm loving, like, I think I had a glass of wine the other night. That's it. You know, literally. And I'm loving this journey of just figuring out who I am, because Lucy Davis has been a single entity for such a long time, and now I'm allowing this masculine energy to come in and, you know, almost be this, you know, combination, which is something that is alien to me. Like, it's probably alien to you too, Max, but Donna, you're very used to it because you've got Barry.
Yeah.
You know, and there are many people that hop from relationship to relationship. I did that when I was younger, but I have taken so much time out over the last 10 years. Like, I was with my ex-partner for 4.5 years or 4 years, whatever it was. But that's 4 years ago now, which is why I believe I am now ready to step back into this, like sharing my shadow, if I want of better words, you know, actually sharing that space. And it's beautiful. I know that there's going to be, I know I'm going to go out with a dickhead at some point. Like, I just know. Of course I'm going to go out with a dickhead.
There has to be one. They can't all be perfect.
For sure. They're going to challenge me massively. But do you know what? It's going to be growth.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge amount of growth. And how beautiful will that be? And I'm not calling in a dickhead, by the way, because there are so many incredible men out there. Trust me, I'm finding them at the moment. But we must appreciate that everything that we need to learn, everything that we need to remember is coming in right now.
But also, I've noticed, like you're saying about the men you're dating, the men I'm speaking to are now having more of a conversation.
Yeah.
They're actually, I've know all around me, they're coming out of their shell a bit more. Or maybe I wasn't listening before.
Bingo. Love that. Love that you're taking ownership of that. That's amazing. Yeah.
Because I think I was probably too abrupt with them to have the conversation. And now they're opening up. I mean, like the copper's now going to apologise to his wife. I never saw that coming.
Amazing, right?
But the fact is, what I said, something stuck in his head without me knowing it. So I know now I'm more open to talking to them, but I'm having brilliant conversations.
And imagine what that's going to do for her. Like, imagine receiving that forgiveness and receiving that apology 2 years down the line, after this person that you once upon a time were head over heels in love with to marry them, all of a sudden is apologising to you, probably something that he's never done in his life. Imagine that.
I got that impression, actually.
You know,
I got the impression he was quite arrogant with the whole uniform.
Yeah,
the uniform, everything. Yeah, and he's realising.
That's amazing.
That so he's going to go and apologise. And I said, well, I'm sure she'd be really grateful. He said, well, it might not go down well the first time. He said, but I'll have another go.
Love that.
That's lovely.
Yeah. So I don't think I was listening enough before for people to talk, for me to allow them to speak.
Well done.
Because now they're all coming in, lining up outside the door. So even if I don't date any of them, they're going to go off and become a better person.
I think you're going to date both of these two, don't you, Dons?
Yeah, I do. When she opens up in the morning, she thinks it's a queue for the post office, but it's not.
Has got any parcels? They're queuing up for advice now. They must get chairs out and everything.
No, they're queued up to see you, Max.
Good for you. It's so amazing. I'm so proud of you, honestly, stepping up into that beautiful divine feminine. I've seen such a shift in you, Max, and I love your dress, by the way. It looks really beautiful.
Yeah, I do. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you, my love. Yes, have you noticed I'm wearing girly things now?
Yeah. I am.
I haven't got any boy things in my wardrobe.
I'm so
you look lovely.
Do you know what? But I don't know about you, Donna, but my wardrobe has changed massively as well. Don't get me wrong. I still wear tops like this because it was cold here when I went out this morning. It's gorgeous now, but it was cold when I went out this morning. So I still have tops like this and little cardigans and that. But I've got jeans that are nice and tight around my bum, for example. I wear little shorts. I'm wearing, you know, skirts or dresses. You know, I wore a dress a little bit similar to the one you're wearing to the last protest. It was more orange. I think yours.
Oh yes, it was. It was lovely.
You know, but that's the kind of thing that I'm choosing to wear these days because I want to put that vibration out there. You know.
Well, it's like, you know, when I get home from work, I would normally take my clothes off that I wear to work and put a pair of jeans on that aren't great. You know, probably a jumper. Yeah. But now I'm actually getting feminine things out.
Good on you.
Like this. I got home from work and put this on today.
So
beautiful.
It's all coming in.
Yeah. Which means the fact that you're shifting your consciousness means the consciousness around you is going to start shifting, and you're going to be doing
Yeah.
the 21 day challenge too. Do you want to join the 21
Yeah.
day challenge?
Well, wait for that one, my love. Not quite ready.
Let me just explain to you something, actually. One of the other members that I was doing one-to-one calls
thought you were
with-
going to say, sorry, I thought you say one of those other men, he lives near you.
No, he really doesn't. Well, maybe.
Bring your taco, Maxine, be prepared.
So one of the other ladies that was on the membership class of 2020, she, at the end of the program, I was doing a one-to-one with her, and I suggested that maybe she went on a 21 date challenge, and she actually said, listen, I'll do 7. So she's actually on a 7-date challenge at the moment. So maybe somewhere around there, Maxine, is something that you should feel into and have a look at, because, you know, we do need
I
to
shall
put
keep you posted.
Yeah, good. Have a think about it, feel into it, see how you feel. Anyway,
Yeah, I'll let you know.
stupid.
I can buy 2 hats.
Yes, do. You might have to buy an aeroplane ticket for mine, though, Don Dons.
I can do that, sweetie. I can do that.
Anyway, I think that this is the perfect time for us to actually talk a little bit about inner child. Okay, we have tonight been very, very open. Like, I'm acting like a child in the dating field. If you think about it, I'm having a play with it. I'm enjoying it. I'm putting it out there. You know, we're having a proper good giggle tonight. And what I channeled back in November 2020 is that next month in July of 2021, really our inner child is going to start coming up. We're going to have like little temper tantrums, and we're really going to be faced with our inner child, and it's going to be time to heal. So Donna, you nailed it earlier. You've been out making daisy chains. I mean, there is no more inner child than going and making daisy chains. And I just really want to respect you and your consciousness for doing that, right? Because your intuition is saying we need to do this. Maxine, the fact that you're playing, and I don't mean derogatory playing, but playing with these guys and playing with the scenario that you're in, and, you know, us having these giggles like this, like, it's amazing what is taking place right now. We are.
But I've also just, not just the men, I've reconnected with a couple of friends that I used to know years ago who were off my radar, and we met up at the weekend, and we were giggling like children, like we used to. There was no worries, you know. Before, it was all about, oh, my husband's getting on my nerves. That was the last time I saw them. We literally giggled about silly things, like the dog kept bringing the ball and I kept throwing it, and I had a really weak throat, and we were just laughing. And that was going back to being an inner child.
Yeah. And what I did on Saturday, which is so interesting, is I was wearing flip-flops, and I was out in Burley in Hampshire, and I had to take my little sisters to see all of the foals, and they were like spread out. If anybody knows Burley, like this particular area, they were all spread out, and we were walking through, and I'm like kicking my flip-flops off, walking through this muddy, shitty, awful stuff, you know, barefoot, because I'm like, you know, you only live once. I'm doing cartwheels with the girls, we're running around, and that's what I am talking about right now. Right now, we must surrender to this beautiful, beautiful journey of allowing our child to surface. You know, we have been suppressed for such a long period of time. And when we look at the energies, most people talk about divine feminine and divine masculine, but actually we have a threefold flame when it comes to energy: divine masculine, divine feminine, and our inner child. And it's about getting the balance between those three. You know, I know myself, you guys know from my program, I talk predominantly divine masculine, divine feminine, like from a balancing perspective, but we must incorporate our inner child. If you do not know how to laugh at yourself, if you do not know, or, you know, maybe you get triggered by doing something from your past, you know, this is the time that we really need to start leveling up and start healing that journey. So I'm actually doing Self Love Club Hangs next month. Donna, what's the date we're doing it? Is it the 27th?
Yes, 27th. Yeah, Tuesday the 27th.
At 7 p.m. we are going to be doing a Self Love Club Hangs session, which is basically around loving your younger self, loving your inner child, okay? What I will do, the way that these hangs are this year, totally different to any other year that I've ever done them. I got given these 4 categories that I needed to do this year. And this next one is obviously the inner child. So what I will do a connection exercise. I will basically encourage your inner child to come through. We will do lots of beautiful exercises and things like that. And then we will end with empowering your inner child through a little meditation. So it's amazing. These sessions have been amazing. They've been so powerful. The last one where we looked at shadow was just absolutely unbelievable. It's the most human one I've ever done, but it was unbelievable. Like from my perspective, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel very human doing this, whereas normally I feel a little bit like out there. And it was incredible, the results that we have seen, the breakthroughs that people had just in a 2-hour set. Well, I think it was about 2.5 hours max, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, they're 2 to 2.5 hours long. I always say 2 hours. They never long. They're always over 2 hours. Let's be real. This is me. I love to chat. But they are amazing. If you are struggling with your inner child, or maybe you just feel that there is a connection missing there, or maybe you can't forgive your inner child for doing something, then come along to that session. It's going to be a really, really, really beautiful session for all of us to do. Like, I get a lot of benefit out of these as well. But the last one, I was seeing people's souls pop out of their body and dance around, and almost like, yay, thank you for recognizing. So girls, I've got a challenge for you between now and the next video. I would like you to do 3 things that your inner child would be massively grateful for. So it could be something that your inner child used to love to do, cartwheels, for example. Maybe go out and do some cartwheels one day. Or maybe, you know, it's something that you need to forgive your inner child for. Maybe you need to have a conversation with it or something. But I would really love us to come back at the start of next week's session and just talk a little bit more about inner child. And then we'll go on to whatever else is going on around the world, because you know, there is a lot of noise going on at the moment, and people are, their inner child, her inner child, more important, is starting to shine through. They're stamping their feet about the jibber jabber. They're stamping their feet about Dr. Fauci obviously coming out, you know. They're stamping their feet about certain things not happening in the timescales. The fact that children are being abused now, you know. So people's inner child is really, really, really becoming very, very rife. So I think we could give some good suggestions. If we all come up with 3 between now and then, I think we can give people some really good guidance as to, you know, things that they may look to do with their own inner child. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Love it.
Nice. I think it's quite nice. I also think that we need to, Donna, I don't know how you feel on this, but I also think that we need to have our weekly updates on dating, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm all for that, because I will be sitting here with my popcorn.
You do know though, Donna, we are expecting Bazza and you to be dating too, right?
Oh, we are. Don't you worry. We are.
I know. I was going to say, you're already dating, because to go from splitting up however many years ago due to the menopause to getting back together, you are like a pair of newlyweds.
It's so true.
Oh, it's
so
brilliant.
True. Yeah, it's so true. We actually went out on a date night on Saturday.
Membership helped that one.
Yeah, no, we did go out on a date night on Saturday, which was lovely. We just went to our local noodle bar, but it was lovely because we could walk in and walk home, and yeah, it was just really nice. We just sat and chatted, and yeah, things you don't always do when you're inside your 4 walls. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's always something to do, right? There's always, you know, a chore to be done or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love the fact that you are, and it's a really great point that Maxine raised, like, and I think maybe we should talk about that one week if you're open, obviously if Bazza doesn't mind. How you went from literal divorce, like you were literally, you separated, right?
To 8 months
to where you are now, which is, I think it's a very, very important journey, because
I think it's beautiful. Honestly, whenever I think about it, I think it's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Because I've watched Donna.
There are many people out there right now that are at the point of breaking point in their relationships. And I actually think that hearing the wisdom from somebody who thought she had her shit together, you know, didn't realize that she was, you know, doing certain things, raising her consciousness now, so she is extremely patient when her hubby doesn't get that he's doing stuff, to be able to hold space for him and allow him to grow. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
So I don't know about you, but if you are watching this video and you want to hear about how Donna's managed to do that, and let's raise the consciousness on how we can, you know, rebuild these relationships, comment below and we will look to do that in the next couple of weeks. Donna, I think that could be a really, really special subject, as long as you don't.
Darling. Yeah, be happy to do it. Happy.
Amazing. Okay, that sounds good, ladies. Okay, right. Well, I think we should say so long, farewell. Whatever else, I'll be the same.
Yeah, is that from Is that from
Sound of Music?
That's it. Yes.
Farewell.
The Bomb Traps. The Bomb Traps.
That's it, the Bomb Traps.
Oh my God, I love doing videos with you two. It's always so much fun. Ladies and gents, please do remember. In fact, before I go, I'm going to pop a link. I did a really amazing Fearless Females video with Amelia Love. I'm going to pop the link just above here. Guys, go and give it a watch. It is very much around dating, around love, about being fearless. You will love it. If you've loved this, you will love that. Maxine, Donna, my soul sisters, I love you very, very much.
Bye.
Thank you so much for your time.
Love you too.
Ladies and gents, thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video. Mwah. Take care.